Good morning, hello, welcome to another Clibbery walk. Today we're just out of Clibbery at a place called Catherton Common. We are at the top of the road that goes up past the hillocks at the car park by the old concrete pad. Now you can see behind us Clee Hill, and over my shoulder that way Brown Clee, where we were yesterday. We've got a 5-mile loop today, should be absolutely fantastic. Let's get cracking. This is the area where we're parked today. We've got Olive with us, it's not too hot, and we are heading along the road over there towards those woods. I had planned to be up the Long Min today, but the weather forecast is thunderstorms, so I don't really want to be up high during all that. So we'll make do with sticking and walking around the common. It's an absolutely beautiful day, beautiful surroundings. It's one of my favourite places in the world, and Olive's very excited to be here because she's pulling like a freight train. Approaching the junction, we turn left towards Farlow and Oreton and head up to the end of the wood line and then turn right down the track. Here we are at the end of the wood, turning right down this stone track. It's quite a long stint, this one. Beautiful views. In a minute we're going to be leaving the stone track and heading down on a dirt track across the common. It's relatively easy going this time of year, being early summer, got a very dry spring, so it should be easy underfoot. This is where we leave the stone track. There's a way marker post here showing that it's a right of way. There's also some signs there from Shropshire Wildlife Trust. Here we're approaching another way marker which reassures us that we're on the right track. I hadn't walked this bit of the common until late summer last year, and it's absolutely beautiful. All the better for not having too many people on it. You can hear the crickets in the background chirping away. A nice breeze coming into our face, but it's a warm breeze. It's absolutely silent otherwise. We're heading up over there. We've got to cross the valley. It's just silence. You can see a house down there. Pretty sure it's unoccupied. There's no way to access it off the highway apart from walking down the track we've just walked down. Bizarre situation. It looks relatively new as well, you know, sort of less than 50 years old. Here's our way marker, the bottom of the track. We're turning left. There's a Shropshire Wildlife Trust thing on there, and also a Jack Mitten Way, so it must be on one of the sub-routes of the Jack Mitten Way. Anyway guys, we're heading this way. The path now descends into a shallow valley where we cross the brook and head up onto Cramer Gutter. This dog is pulling, being naughty, but she's having a great time, so I'm not worried about it too much. I use a running lead which goes around my waist like a belt, so she's well attached, she can't run away, and can't cause a nuisance to any ground nesting birds or livestock. The best drinks are the drinks you can stand in, aren't they, Ollie? A bit more. Come through this gate. We're following the very well trodden path. It goes up here and bears to the right. As you emerge from the valley, you see a house up in the corner and a notice board by it. That's what we're aiming for. When we get to the top, there's a notice board about Cramer Gutter. Here we go, hang on. If you're interested, pause the video and have a look. Beautiful area. We've walked up out of the dip over there. We're now following the fence line up. There's a bench in about 250-300 metres, which is good because I fancy a sit down. Now this pool has usually got water in it, but it's dry at the moment. It is a fantastic habitat for dragonflies and whatnot. And it's part of the nature reserve. I think it's a site of special scientific interest as well. Keep heading up this hedge line or fence line. The bench is tantalisingly close. Now I'm going to stop for a cup of tuna biscuit. There's our bench. Now the route on lies right at the top of this fence line on the right hand side. There's a gate that takes you onto a gravel track. So we've had a very pleasant sit down for 20 minutes on the bench here. You can see where we've come across that tree line in the distance. Somebody walking a dog down there, and we've headed up this fence. Our route forward lies through this gate and straight up the stone track. The house I designed just up here on the right hand side, sitting in the countryside incredibly well. I'm proud of that. Now the lane bends round to the right and we're heading up there until the point that it pops out not far from the Melville Chapel at Oreton and Farlow, top of New Road. Go. So now we're approaching the end of Cramer Gutter, and the road you can see in front of us is New Road. We hit New Road and we turn left, and the chapel will be more or less on our right. So here we are on New Road, turning left up towards the chapel, and we are going to duck under a tree and put an anorak on in a minute because it's just started raining. Yeah, beautiful day, mind you. When we get up to the chapel, we carry straight on down the road, and then we get to the junction, the crossroads at Farlow, and turn right. So we bear left here, which is in fact carrying straight on, and let's get down to the Farlow crossroads as quickly as possible. Whew, that was quick. So we're approaching the crossroads at Farlow. If you want a shortcut, you can turn left and walk back to the car park. We're turning right and going up over the fields away and up over the top of that wood that you can see in the background. It's a good 250 metres from the junction. So let's see what this new section of footpath is like. Into a meadow of silage. And the time of their life. So here's the gate we passed through, and we're looking for a gate or stile up on the far hedgerow. Quite a pleasant bit of footpath this. We're heading up to the far hedge line there. It would appear that the footpath is at the gateway that I can just about see, about 60-70 metres in from the left hand side of the field. Here's our stile, in pretty poor condition. I'm not even going to try and climb that. I'm going to undo the bale of twine, open that little wicket, close it up and tie it again. We're heading straight across this field. You'll see a little bit of stone walling, and there's a gateway right, and here's our gate. So we've come up across there. Very nice. Oh, the cloud is easing a little bit. At least I can see some white in it now. It's not just dark grey. Guys, we've just come through that gateway, and my advice is to climb over the stile, because the gate is only attached at the bottom hinge and it was very heavy to put back. We are heading up through this galvanised gate, and this byway takes us up over SIlvington Common. So our job for the next 20 minutes or so is following this track. Be quite nice to be in some shade, getting a bit of elevation as well now, so there should be a nice pleasant breeze. And this road, if we followed it all the way through, would pop us out at Cleeton St Mary, but we're going to turn left before then. Don't forget to bring some insect repellent. Just been bitten by a horsefly while I was narrating a piece earlier on. Never mind. We're coming up on someone's house now, so if you're passing this way, just be respectful of their privacy. I've just walked past the house and I'm following the track up the side of the woodland. There's a gate in the distance, and then once we go through there, we're on SIlvington Common. Ollie, running out of steam a bit. Need time for another drink. Really is very peaceful walking along here. Easy walking as well. Still climbing gradually, but we're fast approaching the top of our walk. And there's a rumble of thunder in the distance. Ideal. So here's our gate, and we carry on the road in front of us. Years ago I camped in this woodland on the left hand side a few times. Very cold at night because you've got the wind blowing up the hillside. Just look over there. It's Brownlee in the distance where we were yesterday. We're very lucky with the weather on these couple of days off. You know that feeling you get in your head when there's thunder brewing? Feels like that. We just had another peal. Thunder in the far distance. Probably got about 3/4 of an hour to go on this walk, maybe a wee bit longer. And we're racing the rain now. Racing the rain. Whereas I'm walking on common land here, everything the other side of that wall is actually private property. Even though it's easily accessible, just be careful and respectful of the landowner. It's actually a fair bit longer up here than I remember, but if I recall, you can see a telegraph pole there. We walk to the end of the woodland and turn left down a stone track down the hillside. So here we are approaching the end of our track. We're actually going to turn left here down the hillside on that stone track. That's where all the thunder noise is coming from. Yes, racing the rain. She's seen a squirrel. She likes squirrels. Hi, squirrel. She's like. Now we're approaching the bottom of the track here, and when we get there we turn left. There's Crumpsbrook straight in front of us. There's a very nice bench here. I'd love to sit down, but I think my priority now has got to be getting back to the van, which is over in the distance in front of that wood. So I've now got to cross about a mile of open moorland in what looks like a thunderstorm. That's less than ideal. Our way forward lies along the left-hand boundary fence until we pick up a track that turns right in about half a mile. The path is quite easy to follow, and it's just a matter of now putting one foot in front of the other, getting back to that van as quickly as we can. We just keep following these well-defined tracks really. There's tracks crisscrossing each other, but we're just heading in the same general direction towards hill houses and the Gatehang's pub that used to be. Now fingers crossed, there's a few spots of rain coming down now, but hopefully the thunder has passed over us. Time will tell. Not got much of a view in these gorse bushes. Still, oh, I can see a house there appearing in the distance, which means we're not very far from the road down to the road across Catherton Common. Here we are arriving at the stone track, and we take the, or bear right, I think is the best way of putting it, and it'll bend round and head downhill. It's coming up on a new house that I did the building regulations for, built by a friend of mine called Andy Howells. It looks $1 million. So we're getting down to the road, and If we turned right here, it would take us up to Oreton Bank, but we're going to turn left, which is back towards Oreton and Farlow. We're heading down towards that cattle grid. So at times like this I'm quite glad that this little camera's waterproof. And if we go to the left hand side by the cattle grid, there's a little wicket gate we can walk through. Here's our gate. I'm going to go through there. Come on, Ollie. There we go. Good girl. Come on. Got to make sure you shut it properly as well, because you don't want animals getting off the common land onto the roads here, because it'd be really dangerous. We're heading towards that cottage, and there's a path that goes right there down onto the common. Rain's getting a bit tasty now. I'm not far from the van, so I'm not going to bother with a waterproof. If it's that hot and humid today, it'd just be unpleasant. So a quick check of the map has told me that we are turning right where it says the Mounts, and we'll pick up a path then across the common at the bottom of the track. Stop pulling, Ollie. Bless her, I think she wants to get back now. This ground here is very uneven. Just be careful with your footing. You don't want to turn an ankle or hurt your knee. It's very unpleasant business. Well, the heavens have just opened, so it's raincoat time. Managed to get it over my chest pack as well, so all my electronics are safe and dry. Right, we're heading along here along the left hand boundary, and pick it up again in a few seconds. Oh, Ollie's straining at the lead to get back to the van. We're not far away now, probably 20-25 minutes at the most. We're just going to keep working our way round this boundary, following the path. There we go. Following the path, keeping the boundary fence on our left hand side. It's taking us back towards the van. It's really muddy here in the winter. You can see by all the hoof prints all dried up now. Despite it being temporarily unpleasant, we really need this rain, because it's been such a dry spring, and it helps to keep everything green and lush, so I don't really mind. Now here we go. So that track down there, we're going to head down to that and turn right. Now we could turn left and that would bring us up onto the road across the common. We could walk round the road, but we're going to do a cheeky cut across the common on a bridleway. Right, so we've got to the track, and I think that this is our route across the common. So we've literally popped out just there. So here we go. Let's risk it for a biscuit. The worst thing that could happen is we'd have to just walk round the road, which is no great shakes. Right, let's give it a go. Come on, Ollie, one last push. That's a socky dog. I find this path is very well defined. Used quite a lot by horse riders. Soggy dog cam. Let's follow this path. It's snaking in and around the rocks and the bracken. Just watch where you're putting your feet down, because getting back towards the common there's a lot of dog poo on it, I think, or there was last time I walked it, so just be careful. Oh, there's a big thunder Over to my left hand side, big clap of thunder. Let's hope get back to the van before it gets worse. Now when you come along here, just be mindful that you might come across adders. There's a lot of adders up on this common land. Try and make a bit of noise, keep your wits about you. If you get bitten by one, it's likened to a bee sting, but some people can have a severe allergic reaction to it. It's much more serious if a dog gets bitten. So just keep your wits about you. They're more scared of you than you are of them. So the thing to do if you come across one is to back away gently and allow it to retreat. It just you don't want them to feel threatened at all. There's the van, the end of our walk. It's only about 300 or 400 metres now. It's been a great walk actually. This route was originally planned as a night navigation exercise back in December. We never walked round it all. I think we were a bit keener to just go and get a beer and go for a curry. But I'm glad I've walked it now. It's a really nice walk. Probably get round it in 2.5, maybe 3 hours at a leisurely pace. I've enjoyed it. It's countryside I've known all my life, but not countryside necessarily that I've walked through a lot. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Here it comes. It's like going for a walk with Dave outdoors. On the final approach now. Path goes up by those 2 birch trees on the right. It wouldn't be a Clibbery walk without getting wet trousers, so in time-honoured fashion the bottoms of my trousers are soaking, but that's no great drama because in 10 minutes I'm going to be back home sitting in front of a nice steaming hot cup of tea. And there we are, our faithful camper van ready to take us back home. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this walk. It's been really good fun despite the rain at the end, and if you have done, please consider clicking like and subscribing to the channel. I'm hoping to put up regular updates similar to this one, walks around Clibbery Mortimer and the greater South Shropshire area. So thank you very much for coming for another Clibbery walk. Bye. And would you believe it, now I'm back in the van, it stopped raining. We came all the way along the other side of that woodland, down along this side of it to those houses, down across the common, back to here.